All right, everyone. Welcome back to week 6 of our 90-day massive action plan. So excited to be here with you guys tonight. Last time we dove into something really powerful, and that was the process of building a vision board and giving your goals and dreams a face. We talked about how the mind needs to see it, the heart needs to feel it, and your actions need to absolutely chase it. And some of you took that seriously because I had a few of you send me your vision boards, which thank you so much for that. And let me tell you, they were incredible. They were creative. They were bold, emotional, and I know that you felt that they were purposeful. So before we go any further tonight, I want to create a moment. Who here, and don't be shy, because this is what we're going to talk about tonight. So hopefully you won't be shy. Who here wants to share their vision board with the group? And what I want you to do is tell us what you put on there, and more importantly, why. Like I shared my vision board with you guys last week, and obviously mine told a story, right? I did it in order of what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, but that story was more for me, but also for other people to see that. So, did anybody do the homework and create a vision board that they would like to share and share your screen and show us what your goals or vision looks like in the next 90 days? Did anybody do that? You guys can write in the chat, you can raise your hand, unmute yourself. Looks like no. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again next week, you guys. I want you guys to really do this. I want you to sit down and create this vision board for yourself. I'm telling you, it will be very, 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 very helpful in your life to do this. If you don't know exactly, you can look at last week's recording and see what I did on mine. Like I said, you can go into Canva, you can go into photocollage.com, and you could create your own vision board so that you can kind of sit down with your family and share this with people. Um, Right now, I want to talk about something that's really, really important, you guys. And that is creating a vision board is one thing, and it's really important. I cannot express that enough. But when you put it in front of you, it becomes something that is tangible. But hiding it, that's another thing. You were not given a vision to keep your vision a secret. You were given this vision, you created this vision to speak it, to share it, and to live it out loud. That's why it's so important to have this life board, this vision board. So I want to challenge you guys to share your vision with your friends, your family, your team. And I'm not asking you to share it for their approval, but I want you to share it for your accountability. Because the more you speak it, the more real it will become. The more you look at it, the more you see it, it's going to become real to you. This is what changed everything for me. When I wrote it down on paper, then I put it in a vision where I could see it, everything started coming true. So we cannot carry out our vision while holding on to a victim mentality, though. And a lot of people live in this victim mentality that all these things happen to them. Because if you have a victim mentality, your vision is not going to coexist with that. So if you're serious about chasing your vision, we've got to talk about what's standing in the way for a lot of you. And that's the mindset of being a victim. Now, I know victim is such a negative word, but so many of us have a victim mentality. What's silently killing your dreams and destroying the momentum in your life, and it's keeping millions of people stuck right where they are, it's having a victim mentality. And you know what I'm talking about. It's that inner voice that we've already discussed that whispers, why is this happening to me? This is not my fault. If only they hadn't done this to me. I can't do anything because of them or this or that. It's that voice that's just constantly talking to you. And I want to be blunt with you guys. That voice, you guys, we've talked about already. It's a liar. It's lying to you. And it's something that's become a habit. That victim mentality becomes habitual. And it's one of the most dangerous mental traps that you could fall into. Because while you might be feeling justified and feeling hurt, while you might have done wrong, while life might have been unfair, that mentality will keep you chained to your past. It's going to keep you powerless in the present moment. And it's going to blind you for the future. You're not going to be able to create this vision board because you have this victim mentality that it can't happen for me or I'm not good enough. And here's the truth that most people are not going to tell you close to you in your life. You cannot be a victim and a victor at the same time. You have to choose. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not on here tonight dismissing any pain, trauma, or setbacks that you've had in your life because I've had my fair share. And maybe you've had yours too. But there's a difference, you guys, between acknowledging what happened and letting it define you. Victims always focus on blaming. Victors, victorious people, they always focus on solutions. Now, I would tell you one of the things I've learned in my relationship is a lot of times my wife doesn't want to hear the solutions. She just wants me to listen. But I'm such a solution-driven person that when someone gives me a problem, I immediately go into solving. That's what victors do. They always look for a solution. Victims, they stay stuck in their story. But victors, victorious people, they write a new story. They write a new chapter. Victims say, I can't, where victors ask, how can I? And that's the difference, you guys. If you're constantly blaming someone else, you're blaming your parents, you're blaming your boss, you're blaming the economy, your ex, your background, your lack of connections, your lack of social media following, whatever it is that you want to blame, you're giving all of your power away. Every bit of your power, you're giving it away. Don't do that. As long as you keep pointing your fingers outward, you're never going to grow inward. And my grandfather told me this, when you're pointing one finger at somebody, you have four more pointing back at you. Every time you blame somebody else, there's more fingers pointing back towards you than you're blaming someone else. But if you're pointing fingers out, you're never going to grow in. And here's the shift. I want you to just shift the language that you speak to yourself. Instead, stop asking, why is this happening to me? Why am I having this bad luck? Start asking you, what is this trying to teach me? Because everything changes the moment you take 100% responsibility for everything that's going on in your life. Everything. Not 98, not 99, not 70, 100% for everything that's happening to you, you have control over. Responsibility doesn't mean you caused everything. It means you choose to own your response to every single thing. We have the freedom to choose how we respond. And when you have that freedom, I'm telling you, that's power. That's freedom. And this is how change will start to begin in your life. Everything, income, health, happiness, joy, harmony, all these things will start to change in your life. So how do you break this victim mindset? Well, one, you got to be aware of it. You got to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm being a victim. Catch the language that you're speaking to yourself. If you're saying, I can't, I'll try, I'll never get a break, they always replace it with, I'm figuring this out, I'm learning, I'm growing through this. If you're struggling in your business right now, most people just give up. But just tell yourself, I'm figuring this out, I'm learning every day, I'm going to grow through this. The second thing you need to do is take ownership. Stop waiting to be rescued. None of you on here are broken. You're being built. I'm going to be built till I die. Every single day, I'm going to get better. That is my promise to myself. Every challenge for me is an invitation to rise, not to run away, not to retreat. There's a lot of challenges. There's challenges in marriage. There's challenges in being a parent. There's challenges in owning a business. There's challenges in getting up sometimes and just getting going. And that's what you have to do because the third thing is all about action. Clarity comes from movement. When you start moving and you start taking action, even though you're not great at talking about this business, it's all about the action you take every single day. That's what's going to make you better. I remember when I first started coming to this business, I was just like, man, there's so much information. There's so much to learn about this science. And then I just wanted to simplify it because if it's complicated, no one's going to understand. But I just started moving. I started doing the calls. I started having conversations with the people, even though I was not 100% prepared. Start doing something towards your goals. Start doing something towards your vision. That's why the vision is in 90 days. That way you can look at your vision and you can say, you know what? I didn't accomplish this, this, and this. That's not failure. That's going to move to the next month and I'm going to accomplish this. There's not going to be one thing that's in my vision that I see every day that's not going to get done. Because when you take action, you generate momentum. And when you generate momentum, you build belief. At the same time of building belief, you believe what's called impetus. The difference between momentum and impetus is very, very simple. Momentum is something when you go down a hill on a bike, in a car. When you get to the bottom of the hill, it stops. The difference between momentum and impetus is you're always rising. You always have inspiration behind your wings. And that's what we want to create. We want to generate the momentum and then turn it into impetus. And when you build that belief, belief will shatter victimhood. It's gone. It's like magic. It's like poof. You look at all the things that you used to be a victim as an opportunity to rise, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. So let me leave you with this with victimhood. Your past may have shaped you, but I will tell you this, it does not have to define you, and it shouldn't define you. If it defines you, it should define you because you grew and you got better. And I understand in your mind, your struggle was real. But I will also tell you this, so is your strength. I am no different than anybody on this call. I have just decided every single day that I'm going to be stronger than my circumstances. I'm not powerless. You're not powerless. You're not stuck. And you're never too far gone. I don't care what's happened in your past. I don't care that you haven't had the success that you've wanted in your life thus far. Your past has nothing to do with your present and or your future. It doesn't matter. Today is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. All I would say is don't let too many days go by that you don't just start making the decision. And the moment you stop playing the victim is the moment that your real life will begin. I remember when I was living in my car 23 years ago. Why me? I used to say that. And then one day I just said, you know what? This is happening for a reason. And the reason is it needed to give me the inspiration to not be there. The reason was for me to appreciate my life when I got past that moment. The reason was to make sure I was never in that place ever again in my life. So the question I have for you, are you guys ready to stop telling the story of what happened to you? And maybe you're not complaining to the world, but the story you're telling yourself every single day, and the reason you're not as successful as you want to be, the reason you don't have the amount of money in your bank account, or the reason that you're not making the money monthly, all those reasons and all those stories, and start becoming the story of what's possible through you. Because in this business, as leaders, people want to see that. They want to see what's possible. Our children want to see what's possible. Our friends, our family. And I hope that you guys, through these weeks, are taking this and being different and taking this massive action plan. The book that I wrote, The Success Psyche, all it is my playbook. What got me from living in my car, being homeless, to the life that I live now. And I will tell you, I am grateful every single day of my life that I wake up for my wife, for my kids, for where I live, for the business I have, for the people that I get to work with, for the people that I get to impact. It's so easy for me to rep that off and really be appreciative because my past wasn't great, thankfully. Because maybe if it was great, I wouldn't appreciate my life as much as I do every single day and every single minute. The version of you, the one who takes ownership, who takes action, who takes back their power, that's the version that the world needs. And the world needs a lot of those people right now. It needs you. And that's the version that we were all born to be, every single one of us. So now that we've confronted the victim mentality, because I say confront, because confront is, we gotta really like look within, right? One of my favorite things about reading is that I can have a conversation with an author. And it's me and that author having that conversation while I'm reading that book. And there's no ego whatsoever involved in that conversation because I'm not really talking to him and he's not really talking to me. And so when he hits a nerve, it's very easy for me to look in the mirror and say, you know what? He's speaking to me. He's talking to me. And I got confronted by that author. And so sometimes we need to be confronted by people. And you might be sitting there right now saying, oh, this isn't me. Who's this guy talking about? But I really just want you to take a moment and say, can I remove any bit of this victimhood in my life? Because we've all gone through it. Listen, I still do. I got to catch myself. I got to pull myself out of that and say, no, I can't go down that road. So here's another thing I want to dive into tonight. And I think this is one thing that could completely transform your relationships. And I believe that it could completely transform your life. And I need you to have an open mind about this. But I would tell you when I discovered this, it changed everything for me. And that was expectations. I had expectations of a lot of people in my life, my friends, my family, pretty much everybody. But I want to ask you guys, put in the chat, there are only two people that you're allowed to have an expectation from. I want you guys to write it in the chat, or you guys can unmute and tell me out loud, whatever you want to do. There's two people that you're allowed to have an expectation from. Who is it? And let's see if you guys can get that right. Myself, wife. One of them you're right about, Ron. The other one you're absolutely wrong about. Myself, me. Okay. Okay, you guys got that. Parents, family, friends, absolutely not. Love it though. Who else? The man above, God owes you nothing. Yourself, yes. Who else? Myself. Come on, you guys. There's got to be one of you gonna get it. All right, I'll tell you. El Futuro, good. Myself and myself. Very good, man. You're very close. You're very close. That's about how it should be. The second person that you can have expectations from is people you pay money because that's a contract, right? If someone's going to serve me in a restaurant and I'm paying $40 for a filet mignon, I expect it to be cooked the way that I asked for it to be cooked and served the way I like it to be served, right? I'm paying extra for that. If someone mows my grass, I expect them to mow my grass what I paid for, or clean my car, or clean my house. Or if I have an employee, I have a contract. I'm paying you this amount of money to show up to work and do this work. I can have that expectation because it's a clear expectation contract. Your wife, Ron, she owes you nothing and you owe her nothing. Okay? Same with God, same thing with family. All of those people don't. And that's the problem, right? We have expectations. And so I want you to think about this. Do I pay you money as your upline? Nope, I don't pay you money. So I can't have an expectation from you. Do you pay me money? Nope, you don't pay me money. Do you pay your spouse to be married to you? I would say 99% don't, but maybe there are some out there. So that could be someone I could be off there, right? So why are you stacking silent expectations on them like they owe you something? Because the last time I checked, your wife is not psychic and she can't read your mind. She can't. So where do these expectations come from? Where do they actually live in our minds? Why are they unspoken? Because they're not agreements, they're not commitments, they're not assumptions. And assumptions are emotional time bonds, right? We make a lot of assumptions. Now, you guys have heard of the word assume. Assume means you made an ass out of you and me. Okay? That if you spell out assume, ass you me. Okay? We can't have assumptions. We can't have expectations of our wife because she's not thinking what we're thinking. And this is the crazy thing, you guys. Have you ever noticed how mad you'll get when someone doesn't meet your silent expectations in the moment that you have the expectation that you never actually communicated? Now, the expectation you can have of your wife is not to cheat on you, but you made that expectation when you got married, right? Not to lie to you. But as far as in day to day, cooking, cleaning, all these things that we have expectations. You walk in from a busy day of work and you have a lot on your mind, and maybe you're not as affectionate, but there's an expectation that you walk in the door and be a certain way. You're going to always be let down, my friends. You're going to be let down, and it sucks. And you're going to start resenting, and then you're going to start pulling back, and you're just going to start spiraling out of control. But here's the wild part, you guys. Science tells us we have over 44,000 subconscious thoughts per day. And I want you to think about this when you're driving to work and you're driving down the road next time. I want you to think about all the thoughts every time you see a car, every time you see a tree, every time you see something, your mind is just bam, 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 fired off all these thoughts all the time. 44,000 thoughts per day. And the chances of you thinking at the exact same time, the exact same thought from your friend, from your spouse, from your teammate is absolutely astronomical. And that's why when it happens, we're like, oh my God, I was literally thinking the same thing at the exact same moment that you were thinking. We freak out because it's so rare when it happens. We're like, I can't believe you were thinking what I was thinking at the same moment I was thinking. That's crazy. We're so connected. So why are we so shocked when other people don't read our minds? When we barely know what we're thinking most of the time. So we have these expectations because they're in our moment, in our head, and we think that our spouse, or we think our friend, or we think our coworker, or we think somebody should do something because it's in our head. Now, here's the real kicker, you guys. And this one might sting a bit, but it's the truth with love. And that's what you're going to always get from me. You're going to get truth with love. My kids, they get truth with love, and they know that. When I teach my daughter golf today, she hit a ball. She said, was that a good shot? And I was like, that wasn't a good shot. Truth with love. But we get mad, even furious, when people don't live up to our expectations that they didn't even know in the moment that we were supposed to meet. But when we break the promises, listen to this, when we break the promises that we make to ourselves day after day, week after week, we don't even get mad at ourselves. We don't even hold ourselves accountable. We shrug it off. But we'll get pissed. We'll get angry when someone doesn't live up to an expectation that we should have never had about them. But when we let ourselves down, when we never told anybody, and it's our secret in our mind, hey, I'm going to start eating better. I'm gonna start exercising. I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna do that vision board that Jay talked about. I'm gonna go through my goals. I'm gonna implement my morning routine. We shrug it off. Crazy, right? We'll get more upset with someone being 5 minutes late than with yourself for breaking a dream you said mattered to you. And that's why I always tell people, tell everyone what you're committed to. That's what this whole process that we're leading up to, you guys. Why? The reason why is because we have massive egos. I always was on this high horse about being a man of my word. That if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to absolutely do it. Like, that's the only thing you have is your word. And I used to think I was some kind of saint because I always lived behind my word. But what I realized is this, that I was not a saint, that I just had an ego the size of Texas. And the only reason that I lived into my word was because I didn't want to let people down. And if I told you I was going to accomplish something, I was going to write a book or I was doing something, no matter what, I always accomplished it because I never wanted to look bad to anybody. And a part of this accountability that I'm talking about, if you do this and you go through this process, you create these accountability partners because of your ego, and you're going to be more likely to keep a promise if other people know about it. So when I learned that about myself, I started leveraging it against myself. I was like, I'm gonna tell everybody everything. This is what's gonna happen. This is what I'm gonna make. This is what I'm gonna accomplish. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run for president, blah, 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 blah. All these things. Because if I started telling people, that means I had to live into it. And we'll go the extra mile not to let people down that we've actually verbally communicated, this is what I'm going to do. So everyone on this call tonight that wants to build a big business or wants to do something special in your life, start telling people this is what's going to happen. Now, I would tell you, most of you won't because you're afraid of yourself. You're afraid that you won't follow through. So you're going to keep it a secret. But when you become unafraid of yourself and you become committed to your goals and to your dreams, that will all change. Now, I know a lot of you have gotten used to letting yourself down, but if you try this methodology that I'm telling you, you're going to start to accomplish more of your goals and dreams. So let's leverage our egos against ourselves and use this tool. Use it as a tool for integrity. Use it as a tool for accountability. Through this process of these expectations and learning how to leverage my ego against myself, I've created another massive action item, and that is to create accountability partners in your life. Create real accountability, not just cheerleaders, accountability. And this is the one thing, you guys, that separates the top 1% of the world from the rest. Steve Jobs was a master of this. He would tell people what he was going to do before he did it. Elon Musk is the master of this. He started talking about going to Mars 15 years ago. He started building rockets and going to space. He's talking about Mars all the time. Why? Because he is going to accomplish it. And look at what he's accomplished in his life. Now, I want to first get clear on what an accountability partner is and what it is not. An accountability partner is not someone who gives you a free pass. It's not your friend who says, don't worry about it, man. You'll get it next time. It's not someone who just checks in with no real intention to follow through. A true accountability partner is a force multiplier in your life. There's someone who is not afraid to call your tail out lovingly, but directly. They want to see you win more than they want to keep you comfortable. They understand how important it is to you. They're not intimidated by your titles, your trophies, your talent, losing your friendship, and they have your permission to challenge you because you respect their voice. And most importantly, they know your vision and they're willing to fight with you for it. So let me talk to you who holds me accountable. My daughters, Luna and Sky, had no idea that they were going to be my accountability partners. They don't even know it yet. But every time I do something, I feel like I'm on stage in front of them. Or if I take on a new goal, their eyes are on me. And if I say I'm going to do something, you better believe I'm going to do it because I'm on stage with them every single day. They're watching my every single move. My wife, she's my partner. She's my standard. I could never tell her I'm going to accomplish something and not do it. And I give her the permission to hold me accountable. My leaders that are on my team, Carlos and Rochelle, Ralph and Monica, all of you that are becoming leaders, I'm committed to serve and grow with you. It's my commitment, my accountability on these calls, what I'm telling you, what I'm teaching you. I live into this every single day. I don't teach you this and not live this. My upline, Kyle Kimbrough, leads with power and precision. When I tell him I'm going to do something, I live into it. My mentor that I've had for 20 years, Chris Burke, his wisdom and accountability have shaped me. I'm constantly telling him what I'm doing next, and he's constantly following up with me to see where I'm at. All of my friends that I've brought into this business have trusted me enough to join this mission. I'm in the trenches with them, and I refuse to let them down. I told them how big this could be. I told them how this could change their life. Whenever they need me, whenever they call me, I am right there next to them. So, on top of the vision boards, I want you guys to do. I saw you in the chat. You guys need to finish them. You talk about how powerful it's going to be. Next week, I want to talk about those vision boards, but I also want to talk about your accountability partners. I want to hear who your accountability partners are. I want a couple of you to share and why. But this week, I want you to choose those accountability partners, and I want you to have conversations with them about what you're going to accomplish. I want you to share with them what you're going to do in the next 3 to 5 years. I want you to share with them what you're going to do in the next 90 days. Not your nicest friends, your realest ones. The ones that are real, the ones that got your back, the ones that are your ride or die. People that will hold you to your greatness, not your excuses. They're not going to let you off. Okay? Let them know you're committed. Whether it's building a business, eating better, losing weight, leveling up your spirituality, getting closer to God, whatever it is. Maybe it's becoming a better parent, spending more time with your kids. And here's the key: give them the permission to check you. And I know this step is uncomfortable for most, but it's the difference between casual intention and real transformation in your life, you guys. You can't be serious about change and still protect your comfort zone. They don't go together, you guys. You're going to get uncomfortable. If you're going to have real transformation, you're going to get uncomfortable. But I promise you, you're going to be so grateful that you did. And this is how we move from I hope to I'm becoming. This will also help you build massive, massive confidence. So to wrap up expectations, the moment you let go of expectations that you have of other people and put that energy to the promises that you make to yourself, that is the moment you will step into complete peace and harmony. And we're going to talk about this next week. We're going to talk about harmony and what it looks like. That's the moment that your relationships will start to thrive. That's when people are going to want to be around you. That's when people are going to feel safe. They're going to feel seen and they're going to feel loved. and you're going to feel strong. You're going to feel consistent and you're going to feel whole within yourself because you're not going to depend on somebody else for your vibration, for your energy. Because I will tell you this, expectations are the birthplace of frustration. You're going to be frustrated, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be let down. But owning your own expectations of what you're going to do, that ownership is going to create freedom. And this is a mindset game, you guys. Everything we do in life is right here. It's a mindset game. And it's the most important game that you'll ever play in your life. It's the most important game to learn how to play because you're playing it with yourself. You're not playing with anybody else. You think you're playing it with somebody else, but you're playing it with yourself. So I'll leave you with this. Just don't be mad when someone doesn't meet an expectation that you never communicated. And even if you communicated it, you cannot have expectations of people to think and do like you. But be mad when you don't meet a promise that you clearly made to yourself. Switch that, and then things will start to change. But I want you to do this. I don't want you to stay mad at yourself. What I want you to do is I want you to do something about it. I want you to let that fire fuel your discipline. Let the standards shape your identity. Become that person that doesn't break promises to themselves. Because when you lose the need to control others and gain the power to control yourself, you will win every single time. So, now that we've talked about expectations and how letting go of these expectations set you free, there's another silent destroyer you need to confront, and that's fear. Fear is one of the most powerful, invisible forces in the entire world. Most people live in this state 95% of the time. And if you don't learn how to master it, fear will master you. So let's define it for what it really is. Fear in my head is an acronym. Every time I hear that word, the first thing I think about it is false evidence appearing real. Write that down if you want. These calls are recorded, so you can go back and listen to them. But fear, F is false, E is evidence, A is appearing real, R. It's not true. I know. It feels real. It looks real. But most of the time, all it is smoke. It's an illusion. It's a lie disguised as logic. Did you guys know that 99% of the things we fear never, ever happen? Think about that. We waste all this time and this energy and this cortisol in our body, and it never happens. The reason we have fear is because it's instinctual. When we used to have animals attacking us and sickness is attacking us, like we have this thing in our body that's just instinctual. We have this fear, but we have to learn how to control it. We live in anxiety, we live in stress and paralysis. We don't do anything because of fear over things that have never happened or are not going to happen. Probably never going to happen. And why is that? Because fear is always future based. It's not in the present. It's not in the past. Can't fear your past is gone. Can't fear the present. Fear always is future. What's going to happen? Am I going to be able to pay the bills this month? Am I going to make enough money? Can't live in that fear space. Doesn't do anything for us. I talked to a friend today. He's like, I'm broke. I'm really trying to build my business. And I'm like, you don't sound stressed. And he's like, I don't have time for that. I just got to figure this thing out. I'm like, does it stress you at all? Oh, I'm going to figure it out. Fear doesn't live in the present moment. It lives in the what if. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I call them up and they say, are you crazy? Why are you doing that? Or if they judge me? Or what if it doesn't work? Let me ask you, what if it does? What if it does work? What if the fear you're feeding is actually blocking the future that you were built for? And here's the crazy part. Most people don't fail because they tried and lost. They fail because they feared stopped them from even starting. A lot of you on this call right now, I know you're not every day talking to people. You're afraid. You're not doing things that you should be doing because you're afraid. Fear is the number one destroyer of dreams. Number one. It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of time. It's not lack of resources. It's fear. Plain and simple. Because fear is a controller. Understand, everything around us is based on fear. And whether we want to admit it or not, there are entire systems, you guys know the systems, institutions, you know the institutions, and governments that thrive on people living in fear. COVID, if you guys can think back 5 years, COVID was all based on fear. Every report on the news was all the people that were dying, not all the people that were surviving. Fear. Because a fearful population is an obedient population. A fearful person doesn't take risk. Can't go to the grocery store. I can't leave my house. A fearful person doesn't speak up. A fearful person doesn't even move. They just stay. And you know what's the worst part about a fearful person? They don't dream. They don't dream. Fear keeps people from dreaming. That's why fear is pushed constantly in our media. That's why uncertainty is broadcasted 24/7. We have news cycles, news channels that are on 24/7. And people are addicted to it because if you're afraid, you're way easier to control. But I'm here to remind you, you were not created to be controlled. You were created to lead. You were created to create, to build, to expand, to impact lives. We have a device in our hands that can impact and change humanity, not only from a health standpoint, but from a wealth standpoint. That's why you're here. And fear has no place in that equation. So, how do you overcome fear? Move. You move. You take action. Action is the antidote to fear. It's the antidote. If you take action, the fear will go away. Fear wants you frozen. Courage doesn't mean that you don't feel fear. It means you act in despite of it. That's all it means. If you want to kill fear, take massive, messy, relentless action towards the things that you're afraid of. Talk to that person on your chicken list. Talk to that person that you look at and be like, they would never be interested. Make the call. Start the business. Send a message. Record and post a video. So many people are afraid of that because they're afraid to be judged. They're afraid to be judged because their ego. That's it. Your ego is crippling you. Your ego creates a lot of fear. Because once you start moving, fear will start to lose its grip over you. So, as we started today talking about your vision, giving your goals a face, owning your dreams, sharing them boldly, we moved into the victim mentality, how it strips away your power and how the shift to ownership changes everything. Then we talked about expectations, releasing what you place on others and anchoring it into the promises you make to yourself. And now we've pulled the curtain back on fear, the invisible wall keeping you from action. If you're looking in the mirror right now, like I always do every single day, I hope you're with me. I know a lot of you feel this fear, and I know it's keeping you from the joy and the impact and greatness that you have within you. And why am I teaching you all this? Because at the end of the day, you guys, the main ingredient of success is one single thing, and that's massive aligned action. That's what this is all about. What are the action steps? What do you have to do to get out of where you are? Not someday, not when you're ready, not when the timing is perfect, because the timing will never, ever, ever, ever be perfect. It's right now. Because once you guys align your vision, you live by your values that we've talked about, the core values, you master your mind, and you move through that fear, you will become unshakable, unbreakable, and unbeatable. Your energy will shift. The momentum and the impetus will start to build, and your confidence will explode. And the world and the opportunities will start to open up in ways that you can even imagine. So here's your call to action, you guys. I want you guys to close your eyes with me right now. And I want you guys to decide right now that you are done living small. You are done with being controlled by fear. You're done breaking promises to yourself. And you're done waiting on the right time because this is your time, this is your season, and this is your life. I want you to take the wheel, take the risk, and take the action. And open your eyes. And I promise you this, the future will meet you on the other side of your courage. Now, I would love to, in the next 7 to 10 minutes, if a couple of you are brave enough to put your biggest fears out there and let's squash them. Does anybody want to share their fears that they have? And let's talk about them. Unmute yourself, raise your hand. You guys, listen, we're all family. Somebody start us off. All right, Ron. Shoot, my friend.
Uh, I've committed to this $20,000 a month for the quarter, and it's pretty ominous. And I have some circular thoughts that just keep hitting me. How are you going to do it? You don't know it all yet. You don't have all the pieces. You've got, you're, I've told you what I'm doing, but I keep getting these nagging thoughts. They just keep cropping in. I don't know if it's the old institutional life that is still remnant, that still has furniture up there, but it's there.
Yeah, so Ron, that's a really, really normal thing. And I'm gonna tell you, I still have those thoughts
Yeah.
that you have. Like I play big and bad every single day. And I just have to have the conversations. And like I talked about through tonight is all you have to do is continue to take the action. And obviously when you're taking the action, right, you're gonna get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And the only advice that I will give you is when you get punched in the face, that you get back up and you keep taking the action over and over and over again. And you will get there, I promise. Because Ron, I've seen your vision, you've sent it to me. And I just need you to look at it every day. I just need you to be committed to it. Because what happens is when we fail or when we think we fail, because there's no such thing as failure unless we quit, unless we give up, unless we just put our hands in the air and we wave the white flag and we say, I surrender to this, that's when you fail. And so those thoughts are okay. You just got to manage those thoughts into, okay, I feel this way, but I'm going to take action. Those thoughts come from the past because of the failures that you had in the past, and you feel like I'm not getting there fast enough. And those thoughts also come from this. Society has built a society of immediate gratification, immediate results. And we start comparing ourselves to where other people are in the time horizon that they are. And we're like, why am I not getting there as fast as this person? And I'm putting this much time in, I'm putting this much effort in. And I would tell you a couple reasons. The universe or God, whatever you believe in, you're not ready. And you got to put more time in to be able to get to that place that you need to be. And it's testing you, right? I mean, I've had so many tests in my life to get where I'm at right now, and I've failed so many more times than I've succeeded in my life. Like, you guys, there's been so much failure in my life. Like, it's unbelievable amount of failure. But man, I have learned so much. And that's what I go back to when I have those thoughts. It's like, it's okay. I'm just going to go forward. And if I fail, if I lose money, whatever happens, I know how to make money, right? And I'm going to learn something from it. So I would just say, Ron, those fears are normal, but overcome it with action and just know that it's a matter of time. And when you get the exact ingredients that you need, it's all going to happen. I don't know, Ron, I've known you for a year now. We chat on text and WhatsApp, and I hear a lot of your stuff. And of anybody that I've met, I have no doubt in the world that you're going to be as successful as you want to be. I just think all of your experience and all of your failure is going to take you to the place that you and your wife want to go in this business. And I would just say keep your head down and know that you're going to fail more because when you're putting as much time into anything that you guys are putting into this business, you're going to have way more failure than you are success. It's just the fact of life because you're putting so much effort, energy, time, and commitment into it. And so when you do that, you're going to fail. You just got to have the resilience that when you fail, you know it's a part of the process. And that I just got to get up tomorrow and go do it again. And that's where most people don't have it because they want this immediate results, right? I mean, Ron, you and I mean, you're 10 years older than me, but we didn't have immediate results 30 years ago, right? We grew up in an era where it took time to build anything. I mean, we didn't have computers in our hands that we could get immediate answers. We didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have all this technology that we have today. But because of all these devices, people think that 100% of their life should be that instantaneous. So I appreciate you sharing your fear, Ron, with us and opening up. And Mara's going to share hers too. If a couple of you want to share, I mean, I want to help you with what's going on between your ears because I've been there, you guys. I've been the exact same place that you're sitting in right now, and I still get there sometimes. It's just I know how to manage it now. And I might be there for an hour, I might be there for an hour and a half, and then I just got to kick myself in the butt and just say, listen, this is not productive. We're not going anywhere in this place. How do we get to the next place? Myra, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, and I apologize if I'm not.
No te preocupes, no, pero me
No,
dijiste
don't
que
worry
mejor ya me
about
ibas a
it,
decir
Jay.
M,
I thought you were going to call me M like
porque
you said
no
last
soy
time.
Mireya. Pero bueno,
I
ya
should
It's
have.
Mireya.
no importa.
I'm gonna call you M squared.
Sí. Bueno,
Okay.
el miedo que yo
Well,
tengo, yo sí hice mi tablero
my
y
fear,
aquí no sé si alcanzas a ver que
okay, because I
puse
did
10,000
prepare my
y en la
vision panel. I
sesión
don't know if you
pasada
can see that
yo
it
te
says
dije que
10,000
quería
there. In my past
$25,000,
session, I said
y
I
en mi
wanted
tablero puse 10,000.
$25,000. But in my
¿Por qué
vision
a
board, I put
veces no me la
10,000
creo
because
que voy a
sometimes I,
lograr
I just
generar
don't believe it. I don't
los
believe that I can
25,000?
manage to generate
Porque yo he
25
estado
grand
muchos años en el multinivel
because
y no he
I've
tenido
been
los
in multi-level
resultados.
for many
O sea,
years and
he
I
tenido
haven't had the
resultados,
results that I
pero
wished I
nunca
had. I
grandes
have had
resultados.
results, but
Y
never
a la
big
mayoría de las
results
personas que
like
yo
I wanted.
conozco son
And
del
most of the
multinivel.
people that I
Y
know
entonces
are from
digo, ¿cómo les
multi-level.
voy a hablar
And
cuando
that's when I
todavía no he
think,
tenido
how am I going to
resultados?
talk to them
Y luego
about
por
it
lo
if I
mismo,
haven't
no
had
tengo
results on
tantas
myself
personas
yet? And that's why I don't
que
have so
se
many
vengan con la
people
visión de negocio
that
y
come
entonces
with
siento que
that
mi negocio
business
no crece y
vision.
entonces
So
digo,
I feel
¿cómo
that
voy a
my
lograr
business won't grow.
25
And then I
mil? Y
start
entonces
thinking that
digo,
I'm
bueno,
not going
empiezo
to
por
manage
10,000,
25
pero
grand. And then I'm
anclado
like,
a
okay, I'm
ese
going
miedo
to
que
start with
tengo
10,000.
de, pues
But
no,
that's
¿cómo
all
van a
linked to
creer?
that fear of believing that
Ese es mi
nobody's
miedo.
going to believe in me. That's my fear.
Yeah, so your belief system is based on your past, not based on your future. Okay. And so do you feel like M squared that you have an amazing product in your hands?
Claro,
Do you
Of course.
believe that this product could change humanity?
totalmente, porque lo he hecho conmigo
Totally,
impresionante.
because
Necesito la
it's done
fibra
it with
negra.
me. It's been
Do you,
incredible with my fibromyalgia.
do you believe that the compensation plan is the best compensation plan in the industry?
Sí creo que es bueno, no lo he alcanzado
I
a
do believe
comprender
that
al
it's good.
100%,
I
pero sí quiero
haven't really
tomarlo porque
understood it
desde
at
que genuinamente
100%
empecé
yet,
a
but I
ganar
know that
dinero.
it's good because from the first I started earning money.
Okay, M squared, how long have you been with the company?
Casi 6 meses.
Almost 6 months.
Okay, 6 months. And so when you're talking to someone, right, you have to talk in future. Okay, because you're not there yet, if you don't believe that you're going to make $25,000 a month, this is the best company, the best product, and the best compensation plan in the industry, you're never going to convince anybody else that it is. And so you have to first believe that with conviction and passion in your heart and say, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, that's one thing. When you're talking to people, you don't have to talk about what I'm doing right now. I've been 6 months. I've been in several multi-level companies, and this one I am the most excited about because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, Z. Okay? That's the passion that has to come out. But first of all, you have all the skill sets to make this happen in Square. You do. But you got to believe it first because if you do not believe it, nobody will believe you. Right? They got to feel it right here that this is going to be the best opportunity that you have a lottery ticket. You're going to make more money and have impact more lives than you've ever done and impacted in your entire life. But you have to believe that. And until you believe that every day and you manifest that every single day, then you're not going to get there. I promise. But the moment you believe that, everything will change. Absolutely everything will change. I promise you. But that's why you haven't had success yet because you don't believe it yourself. But when you believe it yourself, and this is the thing, you guys, women, you guys have a unfair advantage. And that is you guys can sell to anybody and nobody is going to feel like they've been sold. Period. I don't care who you are. My wife is a ninja. When she talks to somebody, they just say yes. We had dinner with 4 people this weekend, and all 4 people at the dinner table, I'm talking about things. She sold all 4 in an hour, and no one felt sold. Everyone's like, yeah, yeah, I need that patch. Yeah, I need that patch. Can you send that patch to me? So you guys have to use that, right? Men, Ron, myself, Federico, we seem like salespeople immediately when we open our mouths. So you got to believe M squared. You have to believe with all of you that this is the best thing ever and go out there with that conviction and that heart and that passion and get rid of that fear of the past and that fear of the future. Just know that you have the skill sets, the experience, and the knowledge to impact people's lives. And when they feel that from you, there is no choice but to do business with you. And they're going to want to follow you. You got it?
Sí, totalmente. Gracias. Sí, sí,
Yes,
sí,
Awesome.
es que creo que me
totally.
estaba
Thank you so much.
anclando
I
al
was
pasado. Entonces
starting,
sí,
you know,
tienes
I
toda la
was
razón.
stuck in the past. You're right.
Gracias.
Good. Get out of there. It has nothing to do with now. All right, guys, listen. On week 8, I'm going to do more of this, you guys. So I want you to talk about your fears. I want to help you, right? Week 8 is going to be like 45 minutes of me finding out what you're dealing with. I did this before. This was the most impactful part where people just kind of dealing with their fears. And I want to bring out of you, like, there's no difference than you and I, okay? So week 8, we're going to go through this again. I want to wrap this up, you guys, real quick. I want to bring this full circle. Over the last 6 weeks, we have covered a lot, I know. And none of it was meant to be motivational fluff. I am not a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational person. I want to help you build a foundation. I want to inspire you. Motivation is very temporary. It's like taking a shower. You need motivation every single day. I'm not going to be at your bedside telling you, get up, let's go, let's have the right mindset, let's manifest the day. I'm not going to be there for that. I want to give you the foundational tools for you to take this, live it, pass it on to other people. Tell them about the training. It's on our YouTube channel. Let's pass this on and give people the tools that they need to be successful. Because when you live into a vision, when you act on your values, when you honor your word to yourself, you should honor your word to yourself more than anybody else. You stop being someone who hopes and you start becoming someone who executes. That's where greatness lives, you guys. It's on execution. It's not what we say we want, it's what we consistently show up for. It's consistently how we show up. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You rise or fall to the level of your standards. Your standards are so important. People need to know what your standards are. And your standards, they're built on the expectations that you set for yourself, not for other people. So set your standards and set your expectations high and honor them with your action. Your life will never, ever outgrow your self-discipline. Let me say that again. Your life will never, ever outgrow your self-discipline. If you're not self-disciplined, you're not going to grow. And your relationships, your business, your legacy, they all begin with one decision. That's why I told you guys to close your eyes. Do that every day. Make those decisions every day. They all begin with that decision to stop expecting from the world and just start demanding more from yourself. You've got everything you need. So now it's time to live it out. Live it out and become the person that you were always, always meant to be. So I hope tonight was helpful for you guys. It was a little bit more on a soapbox for me, but these are some of the massive actions that I had to remove from my life to go to the next level because I did not grow up privileged. I grew up poor. I was poor for a long time and I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's what I hope I can help you guys do in your life is just get tired of being tired of yourself and all the things that you think drag you down. And that's what I love about this business, you guys. I mean, we're in this community and we get to impact one another. We get to impact lives. That's what I love most about this business is I get to impact lives. And I get to share my visions. I get to share what's helped me. And I hope that it can help you take your life and your business and your mindset to the next level. So thank you guys so much. If I haven't met you before, hopefully in the future we can meet, have a conversation. But thank you guys so much for the precious commodity of your time. I really, really, really appreciate and love running with people that want to work on themselves and that show up every single night. So thank you guys.